So I fell in love with this tool, and I started using it all the time on myself. And I started using it with friends because I'm a shareaholic. When I'm excited about something, I'm going to share it with other people. And I realized it wasn't just people who needed or wanted counseling or psychotherapy that could benefit from this tool. Everybody could benefit from this tool, because nobody teaches us how to work with our emotions. They don't teach us in school, they don't teach us in church. Our parents didn't know. They learned from their parents how to deal with them or not deal with them. So we're all really good at learning how to try to figure out why we feel the way that we feel, or suppress our feelings and all the different ways that we suppress them. It's not just with alcohol and food, the obvious things, but everybody's got their thing that they're hooked on, which may or may not look obviously like an addiction. These things that we do so that we don't have to acknowledge what we're really feeling and what's really going on. But in all fairness to all of us, why wouldn't we do stuff like that when we don't know a different way? We don't know that there's a better way. We don't know that there's another tool. So good counseling and good psychotherapy should teach people positive ways or helpful ways to express their feelings and get those feelings out of our bodies, because it's certainly better to get those feelings out of us, certainly more healthy for us to get those feelings out of us than it is to hold them inside. But yet expressing our feelings has complications too, because you start expressing your feelings to your partner, he's got some corresponding feelings, and it's often not appropriate at work or safe other places to express your feelings. So feelings are going to happen all the time. It's part of what it means to be human. But what I really want to help people know is that feelings don't mean anything. They don't have to mean anything. They're just chemicals. It's just energy. And when you can learn how to work with the energy that's happening in your own body, you feel so masterful. It's such an empowering feeling knowing that I can work with the energy that's happening in my body. And it has I don't know if you can hear it, but it has a different feel to it than the idea of controlling our emotions or trying to talk sense to them or trying to be rational. That's not working with your feelings. That's trying to control your feelings. And what I will say about that is that yes, we all need self-control. We all need self-control, and there's certain parts of our population that need to learn some basics about self-control. But for most of us, what we need is a way to work with the feelings. And I've put something together that I call the compassion process. I was looking for a way to give a name to the way I work with emotions. And it's informed by and uses lots of the tools from the Sedona method. It also uses some aspects of neuro-linguistic programming, which some people may be aware of or know about. Also something called focusing, which was developed by a guy named, I don't know whether you say his name, Ginlin or Ginlin, back in the 70s sometime. He started this thing called focusing. And so I like all of those. So over time, and I actually add more of the body awareness to my compassion process than is used in the Sedona method. Because to me, I think it's a crucial piece, and it's certainly a crucial piece for me personally. So that's how the compassion process developed. Even though you didn't ask me about that, it's on the website, so I figure people want to know. But when I talk about emotions coaching, I'm separating that from counseling or psychotherapy, because emotions coaching is something everybody on this planet would benefit in learning about. How do I work with my emotions? How do I work with them instead of trying to manage them, control them, suppress them, beat up on them, feel bad about myself for having them? So there's this thing, we feel feelings and then we feel shame for having our feelings. So the feelings get stuck because there's this part of us that feels the feelings and this other part of us is beating up on ourselves for it. And a lot of times we're aware of that, but mostly it's unconscious, because at least the research that I've read about it says that by the time we're 6 years old, we've gotten really darn good at stuffing our feelings and pushing down on them, and finding some way to kind of detour, kind of corral them in the body mind so that we don't experience disapproval from the people that are our caretakers. So we were heavily invested in learning how to do something with our feelings other than acknowledging them and expressing them. So we don't want to beat up on ourselves for that.
So if there are people watching this video or reading your website that are intrigued, how do you talk to them?
Well, they can call me. Just send me an email. Say that you'd like a free brief consult. And we can work it out on our schedules to spend some time on the phone. Might be helpful. I'd say you can talk, be thinking about what you want to accomplish and how you want to feel differently. And we'll talk a little bit about that. And I can assure anyone who calls that I'm passionate about what I do, but I'm not going to try to convince anybody of doing anything that they're not ready for or doesn't feel quite right. So if someone can call and talk about what they want to accomplish, we can talk about it and just make sure it's a good fit for them and it's the right time. And timing is everything. May not feel right now, but it might feel perfectly right later. And should someone decide they want to make an appointment, I usually spend an hour and a half the first appointment, because that gives both of us time to kind of get to know each other and feel comfortable. And usually in that first hour and a half, I like for people to have a kind of a first-hand experience of kind of an introduction to it. We'll breathe, have you feel your feet, have you notice a body sensation, and I can show you how it doesn't have to be scary. It's just a body sensation. And whatever it is that's underneath the body sensation and what might be underneath that, you're carrying it around and functioning anyway, right? So this isn't meant to traumatize you, it's meant to just free you up. So you just feel that much lighter and that much freer and that much better, that much healthier, that much more at peace. Because lots of times when I start working with somebody, they'll say, I don't feel anything, I feel fine. And say, okay. But then we'll track a body sensation, or maybe just kind of something that feels sort of like something in my gut, but maybe not sure. And when I can help them track that, what they may find is that there's just a little layer of tension or resistance that's in the way. And sometimes when people can just release a little bit of that, they go, oh, I didn't know I felt bad, because this level of bad that I felt like normal to me. And it's not until people feel what I call released of some of this stuff that they realize, oh God, this is how much better I can feel.